likely or how responsible you are, basically. That's what a credit score is. The higher the score is basically saying, I'm more likely to pay this loan back. And as a lender, when we're lending money, we want to only lend to people that we are confident will pay the money back. So it is important to establish credit because credit basically determines your, once again, quality of life. It determines where you live, the car you drive, sometimes even where we work. Someone like me, I can't have the job that I have if I don't have good credit. They're looking at that before they hire me. Okay. And the biggest thing, like Azora was saying, is that if you are able to establish a good credit and a high credit score, the lenders are likely to lend you money, but they're likely to lend it at a lower rate, which means your monthly payments are lower, which means that you're able to have an affordable life, that you're not paying overpriced, and that your life is a little bit more simple because you're able to afford it. Another component that we're really big about teaching people is managing money. And it's so important. A lot of people don't create a budget, but creating a budget is really helpful when it comes to making sure that, number one, you're organized. But number two, these days, if you're behind on your credit card, then it's more interest, more fees, and that's more money coming out of your pocket. So creating a budget is really, really important. And overall, when 90% of my clients, when they come to me, they're looking to create a budget and understand how credit works because they want to either purchase a home or start a business. And those things are very, very important. So I like to educate my clients on the key components of purchasing a home. When you are purchasing a home, your credit is a determining factor. Your debt to income ratio, how much money you have saved, if you're able to verify your income, all those components are really, really important. And another thing is that we provide are just tools and resources that help people to make educated decisions to make their life more simple. I was talking to Dawn the other day, and she was telling me, like, hey, it's very important for you to share why it's best to have a scholarship as opposed to a student loan. Well, a lot of people don't understand that when you get a lot of student loans, it's actually harder to purchase a home because the more debt you have, and like I said, debt to income ratio is a factor when it comes to purchasing a home. So the more debt you have, it's going to be harder to purchase a home. I always try to tell people it's important to actually, if you have a choice of purchasing a home or purchasing a car, always get the home first, because you can always come back and get the car. But having a large auto loan would actually disqualify you from having a mortgage loan. So if you can, definitely get the scholarship as opposed to taking out the student loans, because it does help to overall accomplish your goal of either purchasing a home or starting a business. So I'm going to go ahead and open it for questions, but I just wanted to, number one, share this flyer here. You can see my screen. These are some of the workshops we offer in the community. Here, setting financial goals, becoming a budgeter, becoming a saver, avoiding financial trouble, using your benefits, banking 101, building strong credit. Building strong credit is my favorite one. And the basics of student loans. And then I wanted to share with you the website here that you can go to, which is operationhope.org /events, where you can actually select a coach. So, for example, I will select myself. And you can see what workshop I have coming up next, which is tomorrow. I do have a banking 101 workshop, but you can go in and see what workshops are available at what times are convenient for you. These are virtual workshops, so I would encourage you to visit the website and maybe enroll in a virtual workshop so that you can have a better understanding of budgeting and building strong credit and the components of credit, and just the tools and resources we need to have a financially thriving life. So does anyone have questions for me today?
I have a question.
Okay. What's your name?
Destiny.
Destiny. Okay.
Okay, so my question would be like, for like bad decision makers, that's the only way I can put it. What advice would you give them when it comes to like saving money? Because like for me, it's like I'll have money in my account and it's like, do I save it or do I get, this meal?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
what
That
advice would
that
you give me?
absolutely that is a yep, that is definitely valid. One piece of advice I give my clients and that I do that really has helped me is if you have a job, set up your direct deposit where a certain amount goes to your savings every time you get paid. Okay. And that particular amount that you're saving, make sure it goes into a bank that's not your primary bank. It should be a bank that you really don't have that much access to so that you can't always just simply transfer the money back over. So that would be my advice. First, set up that direct deposit to an account that you do not have much access to. It should not be your primary bank because it will be so simple to just transfer the money over. So I hope that answers your question, Destiny.
Yes, ma'am, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? And Don, let me know if there's anything else you would like me to share.
Sure. So, can you talk a little bit about what you're going to go over in the workshop that you're doing tomorrow, just to give them an idea of, what types of things are shared during the workshop as well. And then also just wanted to remind them that even if there are other cities and states listed for these workshops, they are virtual. They have virtual access to them. So
Mhm.
you can attend in person if you're there, but most of these, there is an option to join virtually. So I just wanted to make sure that they knew that as well.
Yep, absolutely. So, and if you're, you may not be able to see my screen very clearly, but this is all
We
over
can
the.
see it. We can
Oh,
see
okay,
it.
yeah. But there's these workshops in Dallas, New York. Like I said, Operation Hope is all over the U.S. and you may actually be able to go into your primary bank and ask to speak to a representative that works at Operation Hope, so they can help you like on site at your primary bank. But absolutely, these workshops are virtual. So the workshop that I'm doing, I'm actually doing two tomorrow, and I'm surprised that the other one didn't show. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust that. But like I said, the building strong credit is my favorite workshop because it breaks down the components of a credit score. I don't have that much time with you guys today, and I don't want to just um, I like to really take my time and break it down, but I think it's so cool to understand like the components of a credit score and what determines your score. And one huge piece of advice that I would leave with you guys today is your payment history is 35% of your credit score. So the moment that you are late on a payment, it basically demolishes all the hard work that you are doing when it comes to establishing your credit or repairing your credit. It is so important to create a budget and be organized so that you won't be late on a payment because it's even beyond that. It affects your credit. You will have late fees, and then there's more interest that generates. And it's also really hard to, if you have like credit cards and you're in debt, it's really hard to pay off that debt if there's so much interest that is being accrued and if there's so many fees that you have to pay. Um, so I'll just leave that with you guys today. The second one I'm doing is banking 101. And it basically just breaks down some of the components of opening a checking and savings account and just information in regards to checking and savings account and how banking works and overdrafts and stuff like that. So those are the two workshops that I'm doing tomorrow. But um, share my screen again. But we do offer quite a bit. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything you would like me to break down.
So can you talk a little bit about credit cards, Jamil? I know that students often struggle with the whole piece of I don't want to get a credit card and then abuse it and get into debt. But then there are other people telling them that you need to get a credit card because you need to establish some credit, so that when you do graduate from college or whatever job training program and you want to try to purchase a home or something like that, that no credit can be as bad as bad credit in some cases, because like you said, people want to see a history of you paying some bills. So can you talk a little bit about how people manage those decisions?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great one, Don. So I guess growing up, all of us have probably had that older person in our life saying, "Don't get that credit card. Don't get that credit card." Well, you need to get the credit card. You definitely need to get the credit card. In fact, to be absolutely honest with you, when you're establishing credit, you want to have like four different trade lines or four open and active accounts that you're using. So that could be a credit card, loans, auto loan, um, lines of credit. But you want to have about four active and open cards or loans. So it is important to get the credit cards, but this is the kicker. And this is where it becomes a little complex. You really only need about four open lines of credit. Okay. It becomes a problem when we get like 10, like 5 and 6 and 7 credit cards, and then you begin to max them out. And then there's the interest and the fees. Okay. So my advice would be yes, get the credit card, maybe a credit card or two. But you have to remember number one, try not to go over 30% utilization with the credit card. So for example, um, what I always tell my clients is anytime you get approved for a credit card, and let's just say the credit limit is $500, then you want to multiply that by 0.3% or 30% so that you know what not to exceed. Okay, does that make sense? So if you have a credit card with a $500 credit limit, you're going to multiply it by 0.3 or 30%, and you will see that that's just $150. And you don't want to exceed the $150 because sometimes, depending on where you stand, when it comes to repairing or establishing your credit, going over that 30% utilization can have a negative impact on your score. Okay. Another thing is, so you just want to stay organized with the credit cards. You don't want to just over exceed and max them out because that's when it becomes really hard. And I will tell you this, try to stay out of a lot of credit card and loan debt. One thing that I notice that I assist my clients with is number one, when it comes to loans, loans always have a higher monthly payment and a higher interest rate. So if you're looking for a personal loan, sometimes you'll see that it's super, your payment is going to be really high and the interest is really high. And I never really advise people to take out a lot of loans because it's just harder to pay them off. Another thing that I advise people to do is if you have gotten into some credit card debt and you're having a hard time paying off the credit card and getting rid of it, one thing that I have done is it's called a balance transfer, where sometimes credit cards offer a 0% promotional offer for a certain amount of time. Sometimes it's 12 to 15 months. So a lot of people don't know is you can actually transfer once you establish credit, you can transfer your credit card with a high interest rate to a credit card with a 0% interest rate. But just know it's a promotional offer. It doesn't last forever. Sometimes it's only 12 to 15 months, but you will see that it will make your monthly payment lower, which ultimately helps you to pay off the card faster. So there's all kind of tricks and so forth that you can do to help pay off the credit card debt. But my advice would be try not to have over 3 credit cards. Any other questions about that?
This is all great information. And if they're not going to ask, I'm going to ask questions as I hear young people ask me all the
Yeah.
time. So when you talk about the fact that it's helpful for them to have credit cards, but no
Mhm.
more than three, right? is there a recommended interest rate? Because you already gave them instructions about not going over 30% of the limit,
Mhm.
right? So, but what about interest rates? What would you say is a horrible interest rate that they should, like, if they see that, they should take off running and screaming? And what is one that you think would be manageable for somebody just kind of starting off where these kids are? Most of them are anywhere between 20 and 25 years old on this call right now, anywhere from first, second, third year college or recent graduates.
Got it, got it. Okay, this is a great question, Don. I'm loving your questions, man. So the first thing I would say, when you are establishing credit, right? You're establishing credit. You don't have much credit. So so there are a few companies like Capital One, Credit One, First Premier that are, it's easier to qualify for cards, their cards, okay? And then when you have established credit, then you can go to like your local Bank of America and Chase and get qualified for a credit card. But this is the thing, whether it's Capital One or Bank of America or First Premier, typically they're going to have higher rates on the credit card. Okay. So there's a catch to that, because if you use your credit card and you pay the balance off within a certain amount of time before the interest accrues, then it doesn't even matter if the rate is high. Okay, you follow me? It doesn't even matter if the rate is high, because typically a Bank of America, Chase, Capital One, First Premier, they're all going to have higher interest rates. And when I say higher interest rates, we're probably looking at about 25.99% and even higher. Okay. But I always tell my clients credit unions are going to have the lowest rates on credit cards. Okay. Credit unions are the best, like Delta, Georgia Zone, Georgia United. They're typically going to have the lowest rates for credit cards. But the thing about it is, sometimes it's harder to qualify for a credit card at a credit union, because you have to have established credit and you have to provide proof of income. The Capital One doesn't really ask for proof of income, so it's going to be easier to qualify. And it does help to have like that Capital One credit card to establish credit. So you can start there, but once you establish the credit, I would definitely tell you to go to your local credit union and establish a relationship with them, because you will see that your credit card rates are lower, your auto loan rates are lower, your mortgage loan rates are lower at the credit union. And but always remember, when it comes to the credit card, you don't have to worry about a high rate if you're literally using the credit card and paying the balance off every month. Let me know if you have any more questions on, if you want me to elaborate on anything.
No, these are, and first I want to remind everyone to please mute your microphone if you're not speaking. So there are a few questions in the chat. So the first one that I saw was, if one does not have, okay, if one does not use their credit card, does that lower their credit? And this is from Linda.
Okay. So let me tell you this. Your credit score and your credit report, everybody has a different situation. There's no, like, everybody has a different situation. So there's like rules in general, but what may hurt me may not hurt Kimberly or Zora. So when you're establishing credit, okay, yes, you need to use your credit card, because otherwise you're not going to establish credit. But when you already have established credit, I would just say someone like me, I have several lines of credit. So me not using one of them is not going to impact my score. It's only relevant when you're establishing. Does that make sense?
Linda, make sure you type in the chat whether or not that was clear to you, and if she answered your question. I'm going to
Okay.
go to the next question. So Evan asked, so just to be clear, The interest rates don't matter if you pay them off on time. And I'm going to ask you to elaborate on what on time means in your world, Jamil.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So, yes and no. The interest rate does not matter if you use your card and pay the full balance off every month on time. So that if your due date is the first of every month and you pay the full balance off on the first of every month, or and you have to ask your when you get your credit card, there's like a period. There's like your statement period. So I would say this: you need to be clear on your statement period of when you use the card and you pay the balance off within that period so that it does not accrue interest. Okay. However, if you do not pay it off within that period, it like rolls over. And the credit card company is not going to give you the bill and tell you that you have to pay the full balance. They're going to only ask you to
Could
pay a
you
portion of
read
the
the
balance.
chat?
So, for example, if you have a $1,000 credit card and you use $500 of that, they're only going to bill you for $25, but you will see that you will end up paying interest in that payment for the 500 that you've used. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know if I need to elaborate a little bit more. But your goal would be to pay it off within your statement period, to pay off the full balance within your statement period every month.
Great answer. Great answer. So pay it off before the statement period. Another question is coming in from Isabella. Do the student discounts for credit cards actually help them out?
The student discounts for credit cards?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means. I've never seen a discount for the
Yeah, are they
maybe
discounting the
maybe it's
rate
an
or
introductory interest rate that might balloon after a certain point or something like that.
okay? So
That's
if
what
that
I'm
is the
thinking. And Isabella, you let us know if you mean something different.
okay, because I would say, and please chime in, Isabella. I've never heard of a discount for students, but if you're talking about like a promotional interest rate where it's lower for a certain amount of time, that can be beneficial. But just remember, it's only for a promotional period. Okay. So normally the interest rate is going to go up. And remember, if you're not in a position to pay off the balance every month, then that's when the interest starts to um, accumulate, and that's what makes it harder to pay off your debt. And while I'm talking about this, another thing that I can chime in and say that helps is, because all of us have been um, in a point where maybe we've gotten too many credit cards, we've maxed them out, and now we're trying to figure it out. When you're in that place where you're trying to figure it out and you cannot pay your bill, before you just miss the payment, call the creditor. Let them know I can't pay the bill. What options do you have for me? Is there some type of payment plan that I can get on? Is there some way you can help me? Because I've been a valued customer for the past few years. Ask them, because credit card companies and creditors will never let you know. They don't promote what they can do to help you when you don't pay. You have to ask them.
Thank you, Jamil. This has been great, 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 great information. I really wish we had more time with you, but what I am going to ask students to do is keep typing your questions in the chat. I am going to shoot these to Jamil and ask her whether or not she can help us with answering some of these questions over email. But the best thing to do, guys, is to go to that website and sign up for these workshops where Jamil and all of the other Operation Hope presenters go into detail about all of these topics. I am already signed up for one myself, so I'm not telling you something that I wouldn't do. There is never enough information that you can get about making sure that your credit is taken care of, that you're managing your money properly. And you all are right. We should be sharing more of this information in high school, in college, absolutely. And I will say that for those of you who are in high school, Georgia just made it mandatory to take that all students have to take a financial literacy course before they graduate from high school, which is amazing. But every high school is not taking off every step to
Mhm.
do that. And the information is not as robust as what it needs to be. So if you all are in high school and your high school is not offering that class, you need to reach out to your counselor and your principal and let them know, hey, we're supposed to have this class. We need this class. When are we going to have this class? Because it's a responsibility of the school to make it happen. So I want everybody to please give Jamil a round of applause for being here with us this evening in the chat. Please say something very nice to her because she absolutely has shared a lot of fantastic information. Again, go to the Operation Hope website. The link is in the chat. They have lots of 1 hour because there's just not enough time in one session to cover every bit of financial literacy. It has to be multiple,
Yeah.
multiple, multiple times. And then once you go to these workshops, you need to do your own research as well, guys. Because the information that she mentioned, she said some things are work for one person, some things work better for others. And Jamil, how did you say you could find out if there is an Operation Hope staff member in their bank? Do you just go in your bank and talk to the manager or the teller and say, is there anyone here from Operation Hope that I can speak with? Is that what they do?
Yep, absolutely. Because I'm inside of a Wells Fargo branch on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm pretty sure some of you all bank with Wells Fargo and probably never knew that
Mhm.
there's someone there that can help you with budgeting and fixing your credit. So, yep, absolutely. Ask the manager, ask the tellers, the personal banker, and once again, Don, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm so grateful to be here and speak with you all today. And I did drop my information in the link in the chat. So please reach out if you have questions, if you want those one-on-one credit sessions and or counseling, and I'll be more than happy to help. But it was so nice to meet everyone, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Jamil. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Awesome, guys. Well, did everybody enjoy that information? Did you learn something? If you learned something in the chat that you didn't know before you jumped on this call, please pop it in the chat so we can share it with people who may not have jumped on as early as you did. We're going to transition over to the amazing, fabulous Ms. Lauren Wright with the Scholarship Academy. So you guys heard Jamil from Operation Hope say, get scholarships first before you get loans. She said that a couple of times. It's like she was setting Lauren up for a great presentation here. So please, please make sure that you're paying attention to Lauren. She's done amazing work with us at Scholarship Academy. And before Lauren came to Scholarship Academy, she used to be a Gear Up program coordinator. So she understands where you are, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish, and now she's moved on to help you pay for college. What a great transition. Lauren, please take it over.
Awesome. Can you guys see my screen? Oh, Don, you're on mute.
No, perfect. I was just telling you weren't on presentation mode, but you are now.
Awesome. Okay, well, that was a great introduction. Hello, everyone. I have to say, I did see some familiar names in the chat, and that brought a lot of joy to my heart. So, thank you for that. And so, like Don said, my name is Lauren Wright. I am with the Scholarship Academy, and I have my colleague and closest confidant, Danielle Dixon, that is on the call also. And so most of you have probably seen her if you've been to one of our workshops or you've been to any of the Europe conferences that we've been at. And so today, Don just asked us to come to do a recap of everything that you guys have learned to make sure that you don't miss anything. And so loans are a big thing, and we want you to finish your college career with the least amount of debt. And so today we're going to talk to you about everything that we've talked to you since really you started with us in 7th grade. And so for those of you that may not know, I'm going to do a brief introduction of who the Scholarship Academy is. We have been working with you guys since 7th grade. We work with you guys on how to figure out ways to pay for college. Again, I like to say we do not give you the scholarships. We want you to learn to advocate, because now you have to know how to do this work on your own. And so you have all the tools and skills to do this. I know I've met with many of you and you all are amazing. And so today we just want to highlight all the things that we've talked to you about, and then also talk about ways that you can engage with us even after Europe is no longer with you. And so I'm going to turn it over to Danielle real quick, and then I'll come back at the end to close out.
Okay, hi everyone. So we're going to just briefly talk about how to close your financial aid gaps and just different avenues that you can take to help get money for college. All right, so just in case if you guys don't know what your financial aid gap is, so this is the cost of attendance, so how much it costs to go to your school minus how many financial resources you have. So if you got the Pell Grant, scholarships, grants, work study, employment, so you would take your cost of attendance minus your financial aid resources, and that will be what your financial aid gap is. So here are some ways to help close that financial aid gap. So we start with the scholarship pyramid. We want you guys to look at the school that you are attending, whether it's your major, what major you're going into, to see if they offer any scholarships. And then we look at clubs, partner organizations. So I know like National Society of Leadership and Success offers scholarships. When I was in college, my Student Government Association, if you were on the e-board, they gave you a full ride with a $500 stipend every month. So look at clubs on campus that may offer some type of scholarship programs for you. Parent organizations, if your parents have a job that offers scholarships, or if they're in any sororities or fraternities, that's another option for you to look at. And then community state organizations as well. So fraternities and sororities in your community, but also look at your national alumni associations for where you live at. They also have scholarships that they give out to students that attend the college of that school. And then national scholarships, those are the biggest ones. So those are the hardest ones to get because everybody is applying to those. So we put that one at the top because they're the hardest ones to get. Okay, so these next things are just going to go more in depth of where to look at when it comes to scholarships and grants that you could apply to. All right, so talk to your financial aid office. Sometimes financial aid offices, they offer a list of scholarships and grants that you could apply to. So that's one way. You can look at institutional scholarships. So like if there's a presidential scholarship or donor-based scholarships. So go talk to your financial aid office to see what scholarships and grants that they provide for you to apply for. And then go on campus and talk to people, look around. So you can be a residential assistant. Usually when you do that, they give you free room and board. So that's free housing and a free meal plan. We tell you to go look at your dean. So the dean of your college, they may know of outside scholarships or even scholarships that the university offers. We also have career services where you can maybe get like a paid internship or fellowship that can help you with your school. And then also the Alumni Association, but we'll get into that later on the next couple of slides. But these are different places on campus where you can ask about whether or not if they offer scholarships. We encourage everyone to just go and communicate with these people that work there, because at the end of the day, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So the more that you talk with people and the more that you ask for help, when they find the help, they'll reach out to you and give you like an opportunity to apply for these. Also, you can appeal your financial aid. So if you have a change in your family's financial situation, or you're just not able to pay for school this upcoming year, you can appeal for financial aid, meaning that you can ask for more money if you need it, depending on circumstances that you are going through. So this is a little game that we usually play. So A or B, it's our financial aid appeal. And so we put the correct answers on the check boxes of what's the correct way to write out your financial aid appeal. And then on the next slide, if you want to take a picture of it, we're going to show you why this is the correct way to write your financial aid appeal. So for starters, when you're writing a financial aid appeal, Oh, I'm sorry. Does somebody have a question? No. Okay. So when you're writing your financial aid appeal, you just want to make sure that you're putting like the correct date. You want to do it way before you go back to school. So as soon as you get your financial aid letter, you need to look that over. And if you need to appeal your financial aid, try to do it way before August. And then you want to introduce yourself. The letter should introduce yourself, what your classification is, what financial aid that you've been offered, and what the purpose of this letter is. And then in the second paragraph, always include when you filled out your FAFSA, what circumstances of why you're asking for your appeal, and any contributing factors, as well as what you and your family are able to contribute. So mention why you need to ask for more money, or how much money that you guys can bring to the table, and then how much money that you need for the school to provide. In the third paragraph, just include your commitment to your education. Talk about what you plan to do in the future, like how much you love the school, what you've done for the school, and why you should be granted the money you're requesting. And also make sure you're putting the dollar amount. That way, like, they know exactly what you need. Like, you're putting everything on the table, so there's nothing that they have to send back to you for more information. And just the last paragraph, just include your contributions to your school, what your future plans are. Also, just a formal statement about what paperwork is attached to support your appeal. So, for example, if you're saying like your parent lost their job, show attachment for that. Or if someone's been sick and you've had to take be financially involved in what they're going through, put that in there. Show them documentation of why I'm needing the money, because I need help. And then speak to your local alumni association. When I was in college, I went to my alumni association and I told them I need an extra $3,000 to stay in school, and they were able to give it to me. So yes, definitely go to your alumni association. If you can't find your local one, go to the alumni association building on your campus and talk with them. Because usually there's money in that account that people just don't ask for. So go and talk to them and see how you can apply for some scholarships through the alumni association. And last but not least, complete your FAFSA.
And I'm going to tap in here, guys, because FAFSA is so important. And so I want to say we've worked with a few of you guys this year just to do your FAFSAs. We've come on your campus. We've talked through the FAFSA. If you have not done it yet, it is highly important. The FAFSA unlocks not just your Pell Grant, because that's typically why we do it, right? But it also unlocks other funds in your college. It's going to allow other people to see your need. So even if you don't get a lot in federal funds, do not miss this step, because it's going to open up other doors that you may not even know are available. So always complete your FAFSA every year. Fingers crossed, the new FAFSA will be released October 1st. But I have something for you guys. If you have not done your FAFSA yet, it's not too late. If you need help, the Scholarship Academy can still help you guys. So whether you are in the Atlanta area and you want to stop by and come see us, or you need help if you need help virtually, we can help you either way. We want you to unlock as much free money as you can, and also open up as many opportunities as you have. I have been in college access for over 14 years, and when I say it is possible to graduate with minimal debt, it is not just something that we're saying because it sounds good. It is truly possible, but it will take you having to put time into it. It will take you having to advocate for yourself, and it will take you having to talk and network to people to try to get them to understand your why. So don't be scared to speak to people. If you need help, the Scholarship Academy is never too far away. And so I do want to close up with our College Access Hub. you guys all had access to our virtual scholarship center since 7th grade. I don't know if you logged in, but I know many of you have, where you've had access to private scholarships. You've been able to connect with us. Well, guess what? We can't leave you high and dry. And so if you're in the metro Atlanta area, or you just join virtually, we can still help you do your college funding plan, submit your FAFSA. If you still need help researching scholarships, guys, we can help you. So we are here to help you no matter what, but you do have to reach out. And so before I end, and if there's any questions, I just want to say thank you. Hopefully this picture looks a little familiar. It's from our escape room that we did with you in Savannah last year. It has been an amazing time supporting you guys. I will say personally, I've been really happy just to see where you guys started in 7th grade and where you guys are now. It's brought so much joy. I'm so happy to still be a part of the Gear Up family. And please let us know if and how we can support you. Dawn, are there any questions or anything? I can't see the chat.
Yes, so Lydia is asking, will we receive a copy of this PowerPoint?
Oh, this one.
Yes.
So what I can do is whoever shares, Dawn shares your email with us, I will send you all of this information in an email. You will get all of it. Oh, there's my doorbell. I'm sorry. We will send all of that to you. So yes, whatever email you give Gear Up is what I will share this out with you, and you will have it by the end of tomorrow.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's give Lauren and her colleague a hand, a super clap hand. I didn't even
And
know
Dawn,
that some of these resources will be available to you after June 30th. So thank you, Lauren. Thank you to Scholarship Academy. You guys have been an amazing partner. We love you, love you, love you. And thank you for all that you do.
thanks, guys.
There was one person with a hand up. Let's see. Is that Courtney? Courtney, what's your question?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
It's not really it's not really a question, but it's more of like I just feel like it would be good if I say my experience as well to help out with the high school students that's coming in or the college students. But I would say everything that the Scholarship Academy said, it is so important and it is so true. Like me personally, my I was able to get the Provost Academic Scholarship from my school. I went to the National Alumni Association for Jackson State University and the Metro Atlanta. I was able to get scholarships for those two places. I was able to get scholarships from local fraternities and sororities around my city. And it's just all you have to do is, even if you don't feel like you may not qualify, still apply, because most of the scholarships you'll be surprised nobody applies and you'll get it. I got a scholarship where only 2 people applied, and I was able to get $3,000 because they had so much money left. So it's really just reach out and do it.
Yes, and I have to say, this makes me happy because Courtney, aren't you one of my Gear Up babies from when I was there?
Yes.
Yay!
Thank you, Courtney, for that testimonial, and I might be reaching out to you for a real testimonial to share.
Awesome, awesome. And just remember, guys, there's not just one solution to getting a scholarship. I'll have students that will say, can you send me a website so I can get some scholarships? No, you guys have to put the work in. You have to do the searches. You have to, and you have a resource of people who are willing to help you as well. So I'm going to share a list of all of the great resources that are still available to you. And Lauren, if you send me that PowerPoint, I will also share it with the students as well. So we're going to share some follow-up information. Lydia is also chiming in saying that she got a scholarship from my Alumni Scholarship Association as well. Thanks to all this wonderful, great advice from the Scholarship Academy. So thank you, Lydia. All right, guys. Well, we're going to let Lauren and her colleague go. Thank you for your time this evening, and we will definitely be in touch. And so I'm going to share my screen one more time just for some closeouts. But let's see. Get my stuff back up here again. Here. All right. So just as a recap, These are a few of the resources that will be available to you guys after June 30th. Now, in between now and June 30th, you can reach out to your program coordinator for Gear Up. If you don't know who that person is, send an email to dawn.cooper or Gear Up Georgia, both of those at USG.edu, and make sure that you're with the right person. They can provide you with some assistance. For those of you that have been with us, you know, Usher's New Look. If a student started in college, they agreed to continue supporting you guys through their Moguls in Training program as well. So you can reach out to them now and after June 30th. Let them know that you're a former Gear Up student in college and you want to join their Moguls in Training program. Again, Scholarship Academy shared that they are still available to help you guys as well. So just make sure you reach out to them, let them know you're a former Gear Up, you'd like some assistance. GA Futures is the state website on financial aid resources for you, and they are always available as well. If you're in college right now, your institution is going to be your biggest and your best resource because they are in place for you to be successful. You can reach out to all these offices: Student Success Office, Financial Aid, your advisor, Student Affairs, Career Services. All of those people are in place to help you. You must advocate for yourself if you need any type of help to make sure that you not only finish your program of study, but also that you get connected with some type of employment afterwards as well. Also, if you're interested in entrepreneurship, the Small Business Administration for the United States has a great website with resources as well. I know a lot of you are interested in being entrepreneurs. We did a really great workshop for there as well. And then there's also job training programs through the Georgia Department of Labor that can assist you whether you are in college or not, but particularly you are actually more likely to be able to get employed if you have some type of credential or degree behind your name as well. But make sure that you're making those connections and contacts as always. Okay. And then last but not least, we have a YouTube page at Gear Up Georgia. Also, all of our social media pages are still active, will be active after June 30th. So a lot of our meetings that we do, the recordings are up there as well for the workshops. We'll be sharing this recording as well on our YouTube page, so you can go to the YouTube page and watch it. We're going to share the website, the PowerPoint presentation slides with everybody who registered for the workshop as well. Also want to make sure that I give our program coordinators and our USG staff on the line. If anyone is on the line and would like to share any last comments with our students, this is our last actually live student resource session that we're going to be doing for Gear Up 1.0. So I want to give our coordinators an opportunity to say a few words if they would like.
I'll go. Hi, guys. I just have to say it's been a wonderful journey. And I'm going to cry if I say much more, but I'm so proud of you guys. Don't give up on yourselves. Keep plowing away. I love you.
Thank you, Dawn. Anybody else? Okay. All right. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, so I am driving, so in some of this debate traffic. So unfortunately, I can't turn my camera on. But I just wanted to just tell everybody that, like Don Age, and I think I speak for the rest of us, we just love you and we're so proud of you. You all are some of the most brilliant minds that I've encountered in this world, and I'm just excited to see what you all are going to do. And it is my hope and prayer that whatever we've done, said, and all the initiatives that you've taken, something that would carry you to your next phase. And I'm just excited to see what becomes.
Thank you, Candace, for sharing.
I too, I was trying to get off of my mute button. I couldn't. Good evening. So I love the questions that were posed, you all. Thank you for showing up it's really important because it's not just about financial literacy and knowledge pertaining to college, but all the information you get here, everything you start to apply to your lives now while you're in college is going to take you through. So the earlier you gain the information, the earlier you apply it, the better off you will be as you progress through your careers and your life. So again, it was wonderful seeing everybody here, and I really enjoyed those of you who asked questions. Those were great questions. And have a wonderful summer, everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Samira. Anyone else, USG or program coordinators? Well, hopefully nobody's fighting with their mute buttons. Um, but I just want to, again, thank you guys for being here. Thank you to all of our presenters as well. But thank you for investing in your future. There's so many times when you guys have a decision if you want to attend a Gear Up session or take advantage of the resources that we've shared or anything, and you have lots of other options, but you choose to spend the time with us or listen to what we have to say. And I just want to thank you for making that investment in yourself and helping us continue to reinforce the idea that our time is worth it because you all listen, you're here. And I'll encourage you to share any information that you have, not only with other Gear Up students, but to anyone that you know that would be that with the information would be useful for them in their lives. So I have two more things to say. Again, if you are a Gear Up first year student, please make sure that your name and your college information is in the chat if you're in first year of college. Ms. Cheryl Thomas has set up your Grubhub account through your campus email address. So make sure that your Grubhub account is set up through your campus email address. If you are a Gear Up student and you are in your second, third, fourth year of college or whatever that is right now, the Scholarship Academy is actually going to be sending you your Grubhub information as well to your campus email address. So I just want to make sure that you all know that and are aware of that. You'll be looking for that information as well. And then finally, as far as the door prize, we're about to give away a door prize. It will be based on someone who is in the chat. So if you have not put your information in the chat, I'm going to give you guys another 30 seconds to put your information in the chat so that you can be eligible for that drawing. I'm going to put this, just make sure that we are pulling that information from the chat right now. You guys have about 15 seconds. If you have not done there, name and college or name and county in the chat needs to be in there if you haven't done so already. If anybody has any last minute questions for us while people are putting their information in the chat, that would be great.
Hi, Dawn. I just wanted to share that the first year students, the credit will be live at 6:30 p.m. That will be coming from the University System of Georgia, and you have to 9 p.m. to use your credit. 6:30 to 9, and you have $23 credit in Grubhub.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Cheryl. Thank you, Ms. Cheryl. All right. Any
And
other
once again,
questions?
I just want to say thank you, Dawn. I really appreciate it. You inviting me, and this was so great. So thank you so much, and just good luck to all the students.
Thank you, Isabella. Thank you so much. I didn't know you were still here. Thank you so much. You did an amazing presentation, and I'm looking forward to my Operation Hope workshop as well. I am super excited about it. You guys do amazing work. Please pass the message on to everyone on your team. I did not know that you were in banks as well, so we will definitely be spreading the word about the great work that Operation Hope does. Thank you. All right, so we are about to do our giveaway as well. So we can have a drum roll, please. The winner of the $50 gift card is Miss Aisha Brazil, who is a senior at Middle Georgia State University. Used to be a Bibb County student and is still in school. So excited. Congratulations, Aisha. Are you still with us? Yes, yay, thank you. Aisha's still here. Thank you. So, Aisha, I will be emailing you that information on how to get your $50 gift card. Everyone, please make sure you're taking advantage of these resources. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank you for all of the gratitude you shared with us over the years. We wish you all the best of luck, and we know that we're going to hear such wonderful stories about all the great things you're going to accomplish in your life. It has been a joy and an honor to serve you. And you do have my information, even after June 30th, my email information. You can absolutely reach out to me if I can be of any assistance to you all, just in whatever it is that you're trying to do. We might not be able to give you the kind of resources that Gear Up has in the past, but I might be able to share something with you in addition to what we shared today, that will help you along your way. So thank you guys. We love you. Bye, everyone.